This is here for those who keep commenting on it, as I have realised I did not bring this up, but the ship calmly arrived on Earth was stripped for parts and used to make this ship in an attempt to upgrade the ship, and to limit the amount of resources wasted on making this spacecraft. Sorry for those who had pointed it out, it was in the script, but I had missed it and didn't realise. This is a mistake on my end, and thank you for those who kept pointing it out to me. Also, just another side note, the events of this part take place during the events of Part 7. We join Goku in bed. Having been in space for a week now, Goku can't help but feel odd, looking to the empty side of his bed, knowing Chi Chi is just working on some ship repairs. However, he can't help but feel there's more to it than this. Now realising while he has been back in action for just over 4 years, he really hasn't spent much time with his wife, and only now in the depths of space does he feel the divide, often waking to find her side of the bed empty, even noticing her avoid the room he is in. The only time they spend together is when they eat, or on the very rare occasion Chi Chi feels the need to have a small workout, joining Goku in his training, having allowed herself to grow to a point she could have easily stopped Raditz herself, even taking time to have learnt to fly and use ki blasts, but most of this was learnt on Earth under Krillin's tutelage, long before Goku had awakened. This training is about as intimate as the couple get, and even that is kept to a minimum, as Goku can feel his wife fighting to hurt him. However, he's unsure if she's doing this because of the power difference or some other reason. However, the training always ends after half an hour, and for now he has no idea on how to talk to her about what is bothering her, or even if he should. The pair do find other things to do when they're not on the ship, as once a week they find themselves exploring a new planet which inhabits intelligent life, some hostile, some greedy, some needing their help, and some even very welcoming, as they begin helping those they can, fighting off those who attack them, and even overthrowing an evil, money-hungry leader, all in hopes that they will get a lead on their son, the Saiyans, or at least directions to the next planet with intelligent life. However, no one can help them with finding their son, or where to find the Saiyans, some people even flat out refusing to speak the name of the former barbarians of the universe, and others advising they give up their quest for their own sake. But through a lot of trial and error, the couple do come to learn more and more about how the wider universe they live in works. Learning of the former tyrant of this universe, Frieza, having now been missing for 4 years, and long since presumed dead by the public, and this has led to his army falling back into the possession of his father, the former leader of this cold empire. The most interesting thing and useful thing the couple learn is that Frieza, the man who had died and gone missing 4 years ago, was the one who the surviving Saiyans had served under, but much like the man himself, all of them have been missing for 4 years as well. However, there have been rumours spreading throughout South Galaxy that one has reappeared, and has been doing some heroics here and there. Hearing this brings hope to the couple's hearts, begging that it be Gohan who had managed to survive whatever wiped out the remaining Saiyans. But not all the information they learn is good, as after an exciting battle with a mercenary called Legic, who Goku earns the respect of after defeating, the mercenary, hearing their quest to save their son, warns them of something called the Beast, a creature which at first sounds like a fairy tale story parents would tell their children to make them behave. However, the fear in Legic's eyes informs the Earth couple that this thing is very real, and they need to hear and cling to every word. Hearing of its golden hair, its blood-stained aura, and the thing which seems to make Legic freeze up the most, its crimson eyes occupied by the lust for combat this universe has never seen before. Learning of its slow destruction of the Cold Force, which is becoming more and more of public knowledge, especially with the Beast slowly starting to attack planets outside of the Cold Force's empire. Legic warns that if they spend too long out in space, they may be unlucky enough to run into this beast. And while Goku is a mighty warrior, likely the strongest he had ever faced and will ever meet, he advises that if they are unlucky enough to come face to face with this beast, they run, as not even the Galactic Patrol and all of their force could stop it, and Legic is willing to bet the Cold Force are unable to stop it as well. He's even moved locations for work to avoid this monster, as he's heard too many horror stories about what it can do. This being said makes the couple nervous, not for their lives, but for their sons, as they go their separate ways from Legic and begin their search in the vacuum of space once more, now with the fear that there is a monster hunting down the very force which their son could be working for. Goku, having heard of this monster destroying entire planets, takes the time to up his training. No longer needing to sleep due to being an android, he spends less time in his own bed and more time pushing his limits. He tries to get Chi Chi to join in with him, but the woman refuses, pointing out all the repairs and maintenance the ship has to go through, which he doesn't take notice of, leaving Goku to once again train alone, spending all of his time alone. The fear they both feel for the beast is challenged when their ship picks up an SOS call, and while some of the words coming through are alien and half-spoken, the words they can make out let them know that this planet is being attacked by the very beast they was warned about. And even though it goes against what both of them want to do, what they both know is right, they go to turn the radio off, knowing going there could spell doom for their mission, and could doom them, and worst of all, could doom Gohan to be in space for all eternity, alone. But as the final transmissions come through the radio, it reports that it is a cold planet that is under attack. They share a look which speaks more words than they have to each other in weeks, both knowing there is a very, very, very slim chance they could find their son there, but is a chance they are willing to take. Setting course for this planet, it is a multiple day journey to arrive there, but what they find is nothing which is in need of help, but of graveyard the beast had created in its visit. Chi Chi can't help but feel her throat tighten up in fear of what they could find on this planet, more so the fear she feels that her son could have been on this planet, or any other planet that the beast had attacked. That thought alone is enough to pull forward tears, but she has to quell them, as their pair begins searching around the planet, taking time to check everywhere they can, but no matter how far or wide they search, they can find no one. Not a soul, just pools of blood which flood the ground beneath their feet, rubble which nature is already trying to claim back as its own, as grass peeks through the cracks of destruction, animals feeding on the corpses of those who have died in this battle, causing Goku and Chi Chi to have to scare off every single animal, begging for it not to be their son who is dead on the ground. Alas, after a whole day of searching, they find nothing, and as the suns begin to set over the horizon, the pair are ready to give up, at least for today. But that's when they spot it. The first sign of intelligent life they've had all day, as a group of aliens are spotted doing the same thing as them, as they dig through rubble off in the distance. Seeing this group of aliens, they start to approach, but what they had assumed was them digging through rubble and searching for survivors soon becomes clear that it is them attacking someone, as pain screams come from that area. The couple break into a sprint, Goku disappearing from view and appearing behind two of the assailants and slamming their heads together, knocking them out, before deflecting a blaster bolt shot at him, the source of which is swiftly knocked out by Chi Chi slamming her foot into their head. As the couple turn to the remaining fighters surrounding the downed alien, the woman lets out a growl, telling them to leave now, succeeding her intimidation check, as sheepishly the aliens run away, grabbing their friends before doing so. The couple turn their attention towards the alien who was attacked. Goku, pulling the man to his feet when seeing he is still awake, asks if he's okay. The man nods before thanking the couple, admitting he thought he was space toast there, groaning that it was a dirty trick to attack him while his back was turned. Tending to his wounds with some weird looking gel, the man looks up, introducing himself as Iriko, a member of the Galactic Patrol, asking why the couple are here. Having heard the name of the Galactic Space Force, the couple share a look of hope, answering the man's question and returning one of their own, asking if he can help them find their son. Iriko goes from friendly stranger to an officer of the law in a second at hearing this, pulling out a notepad and pen and writing down a description of the boy and his captor, but the moment their tales are brought up, he is brought to a halt. Freezing for a second, Iriko asks if their son is a Saiyan, and Chi Chi explains that he is half Saiyan, pointing to her husband and explaining he is a Saiyan and she is an Earthling. Iriko's brain, seemingly still not following, allows Goku to jump in, saying that while he was born a Saiyan, he was raised on Earth and views himself as an Earthling, and he wants no connections to this Saiyan heritage he has learnt about and just wants to find his son. Iriko looks at the Saiyan, who throws everything the Academy taught him on Saiyans out of the window. Even the way he stands isn't Saiyan, but shaking his head, he tries to remain professional, seeing a couple who are desperate to find their son. Iriko warns them that it's highly likely their son is dead. After all the Saiyans are missing and have been for a long time. Chi Chi unconsciously grabs her husband's hand. Even though she had fought it when learning the fate of the Saiyans, hearing someone say it out loud scares her, so whether she knows it or not, she has gone to Goku for comfort, and he is willing to return it, squeezing her hand, showing that he is here, and reminding her that he will take the lead for now. He takes the lead of the conversation, shaking his head and saying how it seems things are wrong then, since, if he's not mistaken, there is a Saiyan stood right in front of the galactic officer, so until they see a body or they have proof that their son is dead, they will reject that notion until their son is found. Nodding in understanding while bowing in apology to Chi-Chi, seeing he had upset her, Iriko informs them that he will send in the missing child report, but warns them that nothing is guaranteed, since not only has it been 4 years since any Saiyans had been spotted, and not only has it been 6 years since they had seen their son, meaning he could look completely different or be anywhere in the universe. But the Galactic Patrol is not what it used to be, having lost many of its super elite ranking members and lower over the last couple of years while trying to stop the beast, most officers being MIA or KIA. Iriko hangs his head low at saying this, something Goku knows all too well, thinking to all who have fallen while he was under, as he places a hand on Iriko's shoulder, offering a nod of acknowledgement, and Iriko here realises that this Saiyan in front of him truly is like no other he had heard of. Iriko nods in return, seeing the grief plastered across the warrior's face. An unintentional moment of silence passes, as Iriko breathes out, thinking how he knows a squad of patrollers are on their way here to help him with the search and rescue, and he knows they won't be friendly towards a Saiyan. With the history they have with the Galactic Patrol, he wants to warn them to leave, but before he can even let a word leave his lips, Goku begs the officer if there's anything he can do to help them. Just anything, can he do it, even if it's just pointing them in the right direction. Iriko grinds his teeth in thought, trying to figure out how he can help, before he's reminded of one being who might have the answers, slamming his fists into his open palm while saying the name Zuno. The couple share a confused look, but Iriko goes on telling them that Zuno is a being who knows everything going on in the multiverse, and he might be able to help them, writing out the location of the planet Zuno resides on and a number on a piece of paper before handing it over to the couple, telling them that when they get to Zuno's planet they need to call this number and he will help them cut the queue, but warns them Zuno is very strict with questions, so to use them wisely. Goku nods, thanking him as the couple depart, now on a trip heading towards Zuno's palace, the journey going to take them just a little over 2 weeks. Over these 2 weeks, something about having a lead for the first time seems to bring the couple somewhat closer. While their relationship still feels strained, Goku can't help but notice his wife walking through the training chamber more than she had before, even holding his gaze for brief moments when they lock eyes. It's small, but it helps the emptiness of space feel that little bit less lonely. During this trip, Goku ponders on what he had heard about the beast, the destruction it leaves in its path. Having seen the state of the planet he had arrived on not that long ago, he makes a decision that the moment they find Gohan, he will make sure he is safely taken back to Earth before returning to space to kill this monster, not wanting to risk it ever finding its way back to his planet. Upping his training once more, allowing these 2 weeks to pass by in the blink of an eye, as they arrive on the planet of Zuno. The couple are quick to climb out of their ship, but don't get long to take in what's going on around them, as suddenly a calm voice shouts out to them, welcoming them to Zuno's planet, and asks if they have an appointment or are they here to join the queue. The small being gesturing towards a line which seems to continue far past the horizon. Eyes widening in shock, Chi Chi quickly scatters to pull out a device that they had received and call the number provided by Iriko, hearing a strange voice come through on the device as it's handed over to what they learn is one of Zuno's many attendants. The being nods for a few seconds, taking in what is being said to it, before handing back to the device, which a voice speaks through, telling Chi Chi that he's got them an audience with Zuno, so they should use their questions wisely. Chi Chi thanks the stranger, but he tells them not to worry. He looked into their vessel number that Iriko provided, and it seems that they've got multiple reports from different planets of their good deeds and them saving the day. So it seems the only logical way to repay their favour is to give them something they truly want. As the call comes to a swift end, the couple are soon led to Zuno's main question hall, getting angry shouts thrown their way as they cut the line, but soon find themselves coming face to face with Zuno, who may hold the answers to the fate of their son. Looking at the couple, Zuno says nothing while looking the pair up and down before announcing that the woman will get 3 questions while the man will only receive 1. Sharing a confused look at each other, wondering why that is, until Chi Chi spots the giant baby man floating in his chair, looking her up and down while blushing, and it taking all of Chi Chi's strength not to send him flying across this planet. However, swallowing her pride, she takes the first question, asking the most important one, that being if their son is still alive. And Zuno keeps quiet for a second, this second dragging on for what feels like years, but the next words that leave Zuno's mouth paralyze the couple. The state of your son is not all that simple. In a sense, your son, the one you knew, has died, but he is also alive. Chi Chi asks what this means as Goku desperately tries to cover his wife's mouth, remembering she had only been given 3 questions, but it's too late as the question is asked as Zuno sighs. Your son's body lives on, stronger than ever, even having mutated to new heights, but his mind is gone. It is nothing but an empty void. All that remains is a beast which seeks revenge. Hearing this, the couple share a look. The world around them freezes. Both feel their hearts beat in their throat as Chi Chi asks, is her son the beast? Goku not even trying to stop his wife from wasting her 3rd question, as Zuno, with a solemn look, nods. Chi Chi falls to her knees, no longer able to support her own weight, tears now finally forming as she learns that this monster that has killed so many, destroyed so much, and is feared by all, is her baby boy. Unable to control her emotions any longer, unable to hide back the fear she had felt, but Goku feels even worse, thinking back to the very thought he had had about killing his own son, crushing his own fist as hard as he can, causing electric sparks to fly from his android enhancement. But knowing 1 question is remaining is all they have, the man takes a second to ask the question which is on his and his wife's mind. How did their son become this beast? Hearing this, Zuno speaks of the lies Raditz had told, the pain Vegeta and Raditz had inflicted, the lives their son took, the innocents he killed, the vow he made to avenge them, and the one friend to this very day trying to save him. Every moment of pain, agony their son had lived through, every life he ended, is all shared until the very moment everything changed. The day all he had worked towards was ripped out of his hands, the revenge he swore for his family taken from him. The day the legend of 1,000 years awoke by a child whose mind could not handle the power and the pain it was experiencing, destroying what was once a young boy with a bright future and turning it into the very monster that is going to destroy this universe. The room falls silent. All that can be heard is Chi Chi's uncontrollable sobbing, while Goku stares a hole into the floor, golden embers flickering off his body and floating into the sky, as he is unable to believe what he had just heard, placing all the pain Gohan had experienced as his own fault before his mind can go blank and a new power can awaken. Something clicks. He's not sure if it's his wife's crying which makes it click in his mind, but he knows he can solve this. Walking over to Chi Chi, he kneels down next to her and embraces her, repeating what he said when he woke up. He's going to save their son, and now they have a lead to find him. All they have to do is remind Gohan of who he is, and he'll be saved. Chi Chi looks up at her husband and returns the hug he is giving her, allowing them to embrace for the first time since he had woken up an android. Thanking him, the woman bites her tongue. It's clear she wants to say more, but she doesn't. She's not quite ready to speak about what has been bothering her, but Goku understands and smiles. The hug holds for 5 minutes before Chi Chi is truly calm, and the couple turn back to Zuno, asking if there is any way they could earn one last kiss. The bold baby man blushes, saying a kiss on the cheek could earn them it. Looking at Chi Chi, the Princess of Fire Mountain fights back all of her instincts to kill this man for asking such a question, but agrees, planting a small kiss on the being's face before turning to her husband, allowing him to ask the question, he knows will help them save Gohan. A week later, Goku and Chi Chi find themselves landing on a planet nearly on the opposite side of the universe to Zuno's palace, touching down on the planet that has all the telltale signs of an attack from the beast, with the big difference being that it's already been looted and abandoned, but that's what they want. Beginning to search around, Chi Chi turns to her husband, asking if they have arrived too late, but the man shakes his head, saying Zuno told them this is where he would find them, and they should arrive only a couple of hours before them. Chi Chi looks around, wondering how they're going to grab their attention, but her husband answers this with a ki blast so large being thrown into the air that the explosion surely could be seen from all over the planet. Chi Chi just sighs before repeating a question she has asked her husband 100 times since leaving Zuno's planet. Why not ask where to find their son? Goku sighs, admitting at first that was his idea, he was going to ask. But if Gohan is truly gone, and the beast has taken over, they need to pull their son out of a dark place, and as much as he wants to believe they would be enough to pull their son out of that dark place, but truthfully, he doesn't want to risk having only one shot at this, and it not working. So, he wants to bring in as many people that Gohan trusts and cares for, and sadly this is the only friend he has made since being in space. Chi Chi, having known the answer, isn't sure how she feels about it, but she knows her husband isn't thrilled about it either, and also knows that it's their best chance at saving their son, so has agreed to it so far. As finally what Goku was hoping to happen does finally happen, as 3 people are seen running towards them and arrive in a blink of an eye. The girl of the group asks the couple if they're survivors, looters, or lost, all the while pointing blasters at them, while the tallest man of the group looks at them with curious eyes, as if he had seen them before, something Goku was looking for. As the Saiyan reaches out his hand, looking at the man, he says, "I'm Goku, but you might know me as Kakarot, and we need your help, Nappa. We want to save our son, just like you." It is in this moment everything clicks into place for the giant Saiyan, as the 2 groups who are working so hard to save Gohan come together. That's where we'll be leaving this part for now. I hope everyone enjoyed this part. No combat really happens. It's a very simple and easy part, but I do hope everyone enjoyed it. And I'm sorry for such a big wait between this part and the last. I really didn't know how I wanted to handle it and went back and forth on a lot of different things. That all being said, I hope everyone enjoyed. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you enjoyed it. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Good day or good night for all of you. Have a lovely day or a great night, and I'll see you all next time.